Ladies and gentlemen, wizards and hackers, cybersecurity masters and padawans, good morning. Here we start the second day of the one and only cybersecurity conference, Hack the Zone, the 2021 edition. I am Bobby, your non-technical savvy host. You probably expect me to start the day with a smart analysis on the topics of the day, but as I have already told you, that's totally out of my league. Therefore, the kickoff of the day will actually be a recap of HTZ Day 1. Adrian Furtuna from pentesttools.com gave us a lot of awesome information on pen testing. Alin Ciocoiu hit the right keys on secure code, Cristian Cornea took us for a walk through the cyber attacks area, and our special guest, Horia Constantinescu from Pure Storage, addressed a sensitive topic on storage and ransomware. In case you missed Day 1, don't worry, you will be able to watch it on HackTheZone.com. But what do we have in today's lineup? Well, unfortunately, the friggin' COVID-19 hit again, so we lost a special guest and one speaker. I mean, they're not here. You know what I mean. Because of this, Horia Constantinescu will once again take on the role of the special guest, together with Alexandru Chachir. In addition to the open debate about common security mistakes, accompanied by Alex, Horia will also present a very interesting topic: data availability and rapid restore. What about the HTZ competition and challenges? When are we going to find out more about it, you might ask? Alex will be the one to present all the challenges in HTZ 2021 and, moreover, will show you the correct approach to each and every one of them. And, of course, the moment that many are waiting for is to find out the big winner of the Hack the Zone competition. That being said, let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for an open debate between Horia Constantinescu, Pure Storage Regional Sales Manager, Alex Chachir, the man behind Hack the Zone, and yours truly, as the noob used as a crash test dummy. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for an open debate between Horia Constantinescu, Pure Storage Regional Sales Manager, Alex Chachir, the man behind Hack the Zone, and yours truly, as the noob used as a crash test dummy. Alex.
Welcome, Horia, back again. So for today, Horia, we will have an open debate for the common mistakes that our companies had faced in the past, or even today, with the lack of knowledge, lack of resource, or lack of experience on implementing security measures, and nevertheless, to train the personnel in order to have a better productivity and security as well. So that being said, I would like to start with the topic, one particular topic, the lack of budget. Most of the companies are starting to see as a pain point the budget perspective, and they are not investing a lot or efficiently, and that reflects even on the personnel, on the high-skilled members on various technologies, how we change technology and how we should approach this change, because the budget is constraining us and to develop multiple security measures. Yes, we have multiple threats, multiple vectors, and nevertheless, how do we face them? How do we handle them? What is your opinion, Horia, on that topic?
So first of all, thank you very much for having me the second day, which is an honor. Regarding the budgets of the companies, I think almost everybody in IT have seen the memes with zero money for security, and after the attack, they have unlimited budgets, which usually doesn't make sense. So the chances to be hit again are very low. So maybe they should do it in a different way. But regarding the budgets, I wouldn't call it as a mistake. Usually it's based on experience. And what I said yesterday is that we are looking on a cybersecurity, we are looking from, and also the competition is looking from the side of the attacker. Let's call it like this. Or the people have fun, or it's a job to penetrate the different systems. Now, if you look on the other side, it's much more difficult to create a defense, because usually, as we see about the cybersecurity threats or the data vulnerability threats, people do not build defenses without knowing what was the attack about.
Exactly.
There is a delay in that. So it's not easy. And people do not believe in something which they can't see.
True.
Until something happens, and usually it's a bad thing that happens, budgets are not there. The difference, a little bit of a difference, is what we saw yesterday with the secure code, is not necessarily to invest from the beginning in security, but actually to implement the environment with some security baselines, which will be much easier to adopt while going. Regarding the skills, that's a different story, because as we said also yesterday, we see a lot of people going more generalists than specialists, which is not bad, because if we think about the artificial intelligence and the automation and robots to create, like the pen test tools, robots to create the penetration scenarios, it's much easier to deal with the surface and having the algorithms working on it. But definitely the IT budgets, everybody says the IT budgets are shrinking. Actually, it's not true. They are growing. The problem is, or we don't see on which side they are growing. They are growing on the infrastructure, on the software, on the cloud, but definitely they are not growing in security, and that's a pain.
Yes, that's truly a pain. And what I spotted from my experience with various friends, colleagues, and nevertheless security engineers, they are going to adopt too often security products other than they are used to use. So that means they have to train a bit once again on that infrastructure maybe, or that product particularly. So you have to be very agile nowadays in order to have a better perspective from, for instance, maybe you have an CM solution that I didn't use. So I have to use it now back again from the ground zero. Okay, I have the principle, I have the details, I have the measures, but I have to search the buttons, I have to search the filters. So that's bringing the pain for security engineers in that situation. But going further a bit with this topic, companies are often struck by attackers from a newbie perspective. And I will refer this one for Bobby. Bobby, if I will send you an email, you are, I don't know, on financial, you are working in financial department, and I will send you an email from Horia. Horia is a colleague with you, and Horia is asking you to pay that bill. What will be your first instinct?
Well, basically, I think the first thing I would do would be probably follow the procedure, because as you said, I'm working within a company, financial position, right? And I just got an email asking me to pay a certain bill, which is probably attached to that email.
Exactly.
Well, I would probably follow the procedure and eventually end up by paying the bill.
True, but once again, you open the bill, right?
Yeah, for sure, because I need to know how much am I supposed to pay.
Okay, so then you are following the procedure as usual, because this is everything that happens day by day at your job, right?
Exactly.
In that moment, and even Horia can confirm this, an malicious software or script can stand behind the scenes into that bill and trigger the malware into the systems. And nevertheless, even the bill can have the bank account changed. So you have two threats directly pointed to you, and you are the gateway for that one.
All right, so then what's my options? What am I supposed to do?
Your options are very clearly, you have to check that email twice and to see exactly from who was sent that email.
Well, you just said he emailed it to me.
Exactly.
It was him.
It was him, but it wasn't.
I can't be sure about it.
Yeah, you are not able to define who is who in that particular moment. If you are double clicking, you are opening. You are seeing over there, Horia Constantinescu, hey, is my colleague, I have to open it. And on that side, a lot of malware, a lot of ransomware attack were attached to that. And Horia, from your experience with the storage line, you have spotted that kind of the attack until now?
Unfortunately, yes. And actually, we see this happening every single day. I think that these attacks were not correctly addressed until, I think, 2 years ago, because they were the attackers were focused on financial institutions, which is money. Yes, there were some ransoms asks and all these things, but it's just money. But if you remember, 1 year ago, a biggest utility was attacked in the US. We have hospitals being attacked, which means direct loss of lives. And this changes everything. Everybody can, let's call it, accept whatever money loss it can be. It's just money in the end, not for everyone, but it's just money. The moment the incidents affects the human lives, then it becomes a strategic direction of the governments.
Yes.
To really look into that. Now, coming back to Bobby, to your on your side is there has to be a general education on using digital information, and this has to start with schools, just with schools, because actually the kids are a lot of times more affected than we are because they click on whatever they.
Indeed.
You want a puppy. Yes, obviously, that's normal, and usually their accounts are linked to our accounts as parents. True. Our accounts are linked to all my Gmails, Google accounts. Everything is linked to my Facebook accounts because it's easier. Do you want to connect to your Facebook account, or do you want to enter 2 pages of credentials? Oh, link it directly with Facebook. It will just be one click, and and again. This is normal. This is also trust between the companies, but this can also generate these issues. So education is a very important thing. A little bit of paranoia is not bad. If you receive an email saying you have to pay this, you have to pay a utility, gas. Why did I send you? I'm not a gas company.
Yeah, exactly.
But so a lot of just what. The only thing we have to ask people is actually to ask people to do is to think a little bit before clicking a button. So that's the usual thing. The second thing is actually I used to work for a company who actually was sending from time to time just phishing messages internally, and whoever clicked on it were just asked to go again through the security training, because guys, you did it. So these things are not bad. We think that it's boring, but actually, when it happens, you realize that maybe it was useful to do it at the right time.
I consider there is a small disorder into our education since the cyber attacks are evolving day by day. And this will not be very easy for you as a non-technical guy. So I have just one single question for you that will let us debate further.
All right, shoot.
What do you think you are exposing to internet?
Well, basically, probably all my personal data up to some point. I mean,
okay, true.
Because I'm doing, let's say, I don't know, all kinds of shopping and stuff like that online. I'm buying using my cards from different countries and
right.
blah blah. I'm subscribing to I don't know, a magazine, an online magazine, or so basically I'm giving away all my data for a certain end user, right?
Yes.
Like a bank or a business or a, I don't know, publication or whatever. So it happened to me like what, 2 years ago, the first edition Hack the Zone, when I actually realized that everything that Bobby is as a person, like all his information, all his bank accounts information, and all that, everything, it's online. And to be fair, I do not know how to protect that data.
It's very simple. You need to have a small education into that area. Do not open anything that you are not aware of.
Well, at least that much I've learned by now.
You have to listen to your instinct of the paranoia that you have inside of you as a human person. Hey, this is intended for me or not? Is searching from me, or it is addressed as a bulk for everyone, this message? So you have to filter that information in order to be aware of the attack, that who was behind the scenes and what were their intentions. It was directly for me, or it was for a mass. Okay, so it was a mass distribution. But yes, your data is online, is there, it's available, everyone can see it if they are striking other third parties which you are using. But this leads me to the next question. How much damage do you consider it will make over your data if it will strike it as an attacker? If you are hacked, what is your damage that will be evaluated?
Well, I guess, I don't know, my worst fear would be identity theft. That would be the first thing that I'm really afraid of.
Exactly.
It almost happened to me quite a few years ago. And dude, it was bad. It was nasty. I mean, I had to spend quite a few months trying to convince the authorities that I am me, and some other guy ended up using a part of my personal data just to, I don't know, he needed some service of a certain company. It doesn't matter. Anyway, that's my biggest fear.
Yes.
Identity theft. Second would be losing all my economies, all my savings. Because of course I'm having it into a bank account, right?
Yes.
And since I'm doing all kinds of purchases online, of course there is a big chance at some point somebody will use that data to, I don't know, just empty that account.
Exactly. And this one leads me to Horia. Horia, I think companies should adopt more and more single sign-on products to protect the user identity. And this one will help companies to, let's say, block regular attacks or mass attacks which are applied for employees. How many companies did you saw that they have set in place single sign-on products from your experience?
You know, almost all companies that I work with, they have kind of single sign-on.
Kind of.
Different versions of it. And most of them, they are going to two-factor authentication, which is, at the moment, probably the most secure, because with the three-factor, it will be too complicated to implement from a mental point of view, even the two-factor authentication. But to be honest, I surprised myself. Do you have Apple Pay? Do you use
Yes.
whatever, Google Pay or whatever? I surprised myself paying with the phone probably 99% of the times, authorizing the payment with my face, and then when I was in the face of a POS that didn't accept my phone, I took out my card and I had no idea what the PIN was.
Okay.
Because it was,
Right.
I looked at my card and it was not possible to read my face. Yeah, and I had actually to go back to the reflex, not to the memory, to the reflex of putting in the PIN code, and it worked. But actually, I realized that from time to time, I actually need to use my brain on putting the PIN code. Now, coming back to your question, is it's something that we see more and more, but not with the websites. If you go to corporate companies, to corporate entities, yes. If you go to e-commerce, probably there are some big e-commerce entities where you have this implemented, but a lot of times you just receive an email paying and that's it. Now I realize that for those companies that you don't trust 100% that everything goes okay, just don't pay online. Just pay on the delivery.
Exactly.
So that's not. It's a little bit 10 years ago,
Yeah.
but that's reality. But nevertheless, whatever we do, we will have to trust the companies that we are working with. Even if you don't trust them, you will have to trust them. It's a little bit of a debatable thing, but you need to trust, exactly like you trust the bank, that if your card gets stolen, you will have only a small part which you will pay, and then the insurance will cover the rest of it. Until it happens, you never know.
Yeah,
That's
indeed.
the problem.
Exactly, like I trust, for example, a big platform of an online shop over here in Romania, and I use social login. I will click the Google button and I will go further with my account. So you have to trust other parties to get the job done. But yes, that is the cruel message. After all, we need to have a small trust. We need to be more, let's say, on panic mode. Who is trying to get our account, our money, or maybe information into their benefit. Thank you very much, Horia.
One more thing, just to say, is we started with one thing, which was very important, education, and I think that's the base of every single thing.
Yes.
And this is actually what Hack the Zone is doing.
Exactly.
So these events, not only that, even the Cybersecurity European Championship and all these things have to be made more public to actually show what can happen, and the education has to start.
Exactly, and referring to that education part, we had two competitors this year at the challenges. They were 16 and 17 years old and came from Cluj-Napoca. Wow. That is the education process. From the small age, you need to have that energy, you need to have that focus, you need to have that will, and that will bring a total amount of information into your benefit. And nevertheless will reflect to others. And yes, cyber education is a must nowadays, and we should have more focus on that.
Speaking about education, probably I'd be a good example. As I said earlier, 2 years ago when I first hit Hack the Zone as the MC, I ended up learning a ton of stuff. It happened again this year, and I'll make sure I'll be here again next year and 2 years from now, because guess what? I still have tons of things to learn. Thank you both, Horia and Alex. We'll take a 10-minute break so that you can refill your coffee cup and grab a sandwich, while Horia will relax a little bit because the next moment in the Hack the Zone program belongs to him. We'll be right back.
I'm Riccardo Musconi. I'm a senior race engineer at Mercedes-AMG F1. At the beginning I wanted to be a doctor because my mum was a doctor. But then later on I wanted to be a Formula One engineer. My school when I was 6 to 10, it was straight on the racetrack in Imola. So that's where the passion is coming from. I travel to all the race events and I'm looking after one of the two cars in quality of data engineer. When the race weekend is over, I'm working at the factory, analyzing the data from the past weekend and preparing the next event. The speed of access to data for me is fundamental. It's making my life easier. I'm going through gigabytes of data every day. Well, obviously in terms of productivity, the faster I can access the data, the better job I can do and the more I can get done during my workday. We have a lot of data from different areas of the car. Chassis data, so suspensions mainly, aerodynamics, power unit, and they all contribute to performance. By using the data the car has collected on the outing, we can make calculation and generate even more data based on that. For a race date, I think these days we're around 6 or 7 gigabytes generated over those 2 hours. And obviously we have a lot of experts sitting in the garage waiting for that data to get unloaded from the car to make the right decisions at the right time. So it's very critical to have accurate information in the quickest time possible and making the right decision. For example, in Monaco last weekend we had an issue with the power steering, and if the data is slow coming through, it would be an enormously frustrating exercise and would drag for an entire week. While now in a couple of days we can go through everything, which is a big improvement to what we used to a few years ago. Being reliable and making sure that we're not losing data or having a server that crashes or a storage that crashes and you lose data is fundamental. It's a bit like a racing car. If the racing car is not reliable, you're not finishing the race, you're not scoring points. And then to score good points, you need to be quick.
We've gone from 3 stores to 16,000 stores. We've got 26 supply chain centers in North America. We're probably making over 3 million pizzas a day. You know, saying that we're going to be #1 in the world isn't just a mantra that we put on a piece of paper. Our mission was to basically transform the way we were working directly with our consumers, but ultimately adapting to how the world was changing around e-commerce and the digital experience.
the transition came from being a very operations-focused business to being a customer-focused business. And that required a shift in the actual data. Just like our drivers are quick to get the pizza out to folks, we need to be quick to react to the data signals that we get in. And so that's all about ingesting that data and turning it around and putting it into actionable channels as quick as possible.
As we blew up the number of ordering channels and platforms that we had, data was now upwards of millions of transactions a day. And so our challenge was to be able to process at scale and at speed, and then be able to turn that into something meaningful that helps move the brand forward.
It starts with just speed of delivery. It bleeds into speed that the website loads, and it transitions all the way to the back end at the speed at which we can actually populate, refresh data, and use that for relevant experiences for customers.
I think for Domino's to continue to be innovative, a lot of it has to do with what can we do at scale and at speed that enables all of our bright thinkers to be able to work at their absolute best. And platforms like Pure are ones that do that for us.
In financial services, business as usual is giving way to higher performance and higher revenue. AI, machine learning, and predictive analytics now comb through big data for quicker insights. But this improved intelligence means deeper insights, faster processing, and better decisions. That's where the Pure Data Hub delivers. It's time to put your data to work. Pure Storage can help.
Back in the HTZ studio with Horia Constantinescu, ready to tell you about how important is the data and the speed of its restoration, regardless of the mistake, problem, or threat. Horia, the stage belongs to you.
Thank you very much, and thanks a lot being again here. Yesterday we discussed a lot about how storage can save you when everything else failed. Unfortunately, sometimes happens that people are getting to your data. Now today, because Pure Storage is providing solutions for data availability, it's also very important to understand how fast we can be back online or back in business. Just to recap a little bit about from yesterday's presentation, Pure Storage changed 11 years ago the way the data center and the storage was seen by the infrastructure managers, making it very simple, making it very fast with all flash, making it very easy to understand by anyone, and lately making it very easy to be understood as a cloud-like management. As a portfolio, it's also something very simple. We're discussing about block storage, we're discussing about scale-out NAS and object storage, which a lot of you may understand more in solutions like combination with NVIDIA, which means artificial intelligence and machine learning. But that's another story related to the speed of the restore. When everything, again, fails, the only thing that is needed is to be back as soon as possible online with the critical services up to speed. Now, I already presented yesterday this slide, which shows the integration of Pure Storage with the ecosystem, with the traditional applications and services, but also with the new ones used by very young people who are actually, as I said, generalists, and they like to use the new type of applications, building applications based on containers, on new databases like Mongo of Kafka. But also, we have a lot of corporations still using the traditional applications, or even old services which cannot be migrated to the new ones. So those has to live together. As I also presented, is every single feature in Pure Storage is included in the product itself. There is no license, there is no cost associated to it, no matter the generation, no matter the model, and no matter the technology which is installed. Every single customer can use all the features, all the software features which are available there. But because we are talking about the speed of integration, we also have what we call a pure code. So we have code at purestorage.com, where actually a lot of people can directly download APIs or scripts and integrate it with Pure Storage arrays or Pure Storage FlashBlade, no matter, the technology. So the idea is speed, performance, of delivery, of installation, of integration, and maybe of the restore. Now, a perfect architecture will require from a company, and we have companies, a lot of companies having this type of architecture, where you can have 2 data centers or 3 data centers, active between 2 data centers, which means everything is available at the same time, always in 2 locations. With a third one, which by the way can be here or can be in a different country or across the world, which means that you are able to have a copy of data in 3 places. But yesterday we discussed about the problem of ransomware. So even if you have these copies of data, it's important to have a copy which cannot be altered, which cannot be deleted, which cannot be encrypted. Now, because we talk about Flash, we also talk about rapid restore. Because just to give you an example for somebody like a newbie, like Bobby is, almost everybody knows what 128 gigs is. If you have an iPhone or Android, you know what 128 gigs is. Almost everybody knows what 1 terabyte is. You have it in your laptop, you have it. Now, if you have a database of 3 terabytes, which is not very small, but not very big, if you want to restore it, every single specialist will tell you that it can take hours and days to restore it. Which means that if you don't do it fast, you can be out of business in the next day. As I said yesterday, if you are on an e-commerce website, every single client, I have my preferred e-commerce website. But if that is not working, I'm not that loyal to wait another 24 hours until the guys will be up and running. I will move to the next one, where I will buy the same equipment, almost with the same price, with the same things. So in e-commerce, there is no much loyalty. It's just you have the address in the browser, and you go there because you are used to go there. That's it. It's a simple thing. If you go online to buy tickets to a concert, if Ticketmaster is not working, you go to whatever other ticket online service is. No loyalty. You pay, 100 euro for the ticket there. You pay 100 euro for the ticket there. You don't care. So, not working means actually immediate loss of business. It's a completely different thing if you are working with your bank account. If it's not working, you are very angry. You call the support, but you'll not move to another bank because you don't have the account there. Okay, so it's different from the criticality and the speed. Now, when you discuss about this, and when you look how different traditional solutions and architecture are made of, is everybody is interested to finish the backup as soon as possible. That's the main concern. And that was the main concern until probably about 2 to 3 years ago. How fast I can finish my backup. Why? Because backup is consuming all the resources in the architecture, just because it has to be finished fast. But it's only about 2 or 3 years, 4 years maybe, when we started to discuss about how fast the restore is. Just again, for the newbies, if you do a backup in 2 hours, the restore will not be faster than 4 hours. It's usually 1 to 2 as a speed. Because of that, if you do a backup in 8 hours, you'll not be able to restore anything before going to the next business day. And when you go to the next business day, you have a lot of people going to the office, starting applications and all these things. So you can't wait. So this is the reason why we in Pure Storage we actually have a technology which is called FlashBlade, scale-out NAS, scale-out object storage, which actually one of the major use cases is rapid restore. Rapid restore means that you are able to restore data on few terabytes in few hours. So, and that's the business case where actually it's worth to look into. And that's what we call rapid restore. Now, if you combine this with what I discussed yesterday with the safe mode snapshots, like you cannot delete the snapshots, then you can restore it very fast. Check if you have a clean data. And if you don't have a clean data, you disregard that data. You go one day before that. You check very fast. There is no clean data. You go 1 week ago, and then you find the first clean data, and yet you restore it. All these operations can take probably a few hours instead of days or actually weeks. And this is the possibility to actually look into the whole architecture. And by the way, this is just the last resort, which means that data was already penetrated, access was granted to whatever attackers, and you have to go to the last piece of data which is available to be able to go back online. And this is how it looks from the architecture perspective, that actually you can use a technology which provides you a very, very good bandwidth for restoring the data, a very good technology, the same technology to do services based on artificial intelligence and machine learning. We call it hub, a data hub, where actually you can put a lot of data and use it for multiple use cases, and to be able to combine it with existing backup applications or data protection applications, which are, once again, in the Gartner quadrant among the leaders, because this is where people are looking into. So this is my last slide, covering the technology of not having the data available all the time, being able to back up the data very fast, being able to restore the data sometimes even faster than back it up, which means continuous business. Thank you very much, Bobby.
Horia, thank you so much on behalf of all those who are watching us, but also on my behalf, because you turned on the light in a subject that gave me headaches for quite some time.
So guys, now is the moment where we will show you how all the challenges has to be solved. It's very easy to join the challenges, it's very easy to solve them, and now we will understand who missed or who did the mistakes during the challenges. Bear with me a moment to highlight a bit. This year was a very challenging year, and now we are going to see exactly how things happened during the competition. During the competition, we had the pleasure to have multiple teams present in the physical locations, and nevertheless, those who didn't make it to pass from the first challenge, now is the proper moment to see exactly how that challenge had to be solved. So first of all, we have a total of 5 challenges. 5 challenges for you guys to win the big prize, and a total amount of 2,000 euro cash. And yes, the competition was with some struggles due to the pandemic situation, but we made it, we did it, and we completed. And now we will see exactly how the first challenge started. The first challenge was an library management application, an open source, listed and put it available for all of you guys online. It's our first challenge, as you are used to from our first edition. First challenge is on web, basically just to do the triage of all of you that are willing to compete until the end. So you have to pass this one in order to discover the next challenge. So this challenge was a source page, and you have to do the registration part, and you had some notes over there as a comment. So you must have the information available for you over there. So we made an account over there. So that account was reflecting on this particular target. So if you use this link as a target and you try to exploit it, and it wasn't reachable at all the struggles, all the pain was here. Who made it? To see exactly what was the vulnerability. The vulnerability for this challenge was simple. It was an exploit listed on exploitdb.com, and this is the reference for the library management system 1.0. Blind time-based SQL injection, unauthenticated. This one was the entry point, the gateway for everything that you have to see exactly. So the target link and the entry point over here, it was this link. The target link, which you are able to see it over here, it was the entry point. The entry point was used for this particular exploit. This exploit is available on exploitdb.com, which is referring to library management system 1.0. blind time-based SQL injection, unauthenticated. So this one was the entry point for the challenge 1, and nevertheless you have to view exactly what you have to do to compromise the platform and to gain access unauthorized, as is displayed. And after that, you will see exactly those particular links are available on a simple search. If you are searching and typing library management system exploit, you will be displayed with the following links. Of course, it will be very simple to discover it, but you have to do the diggings. Those diggings are part of your job as an attacker. Do your homework, do your job, do your research, do your recon, and after that, hit the target. Some of you guys, you managed to go further, and most of you guys, you stayed over there with the wall in front of you. It was very simple to see exactly that is a library. On our challenge, it was a big picture with the library, and it was pointed out even from the link library management. So that was the entry way to see exactly how the source looks like. And now if we move forward, we will see the submission of the flag, because once you compromise the account over there, Petra was having some information over there listed into his profile, and he was over here with all the details. And however, that source and that access, even if you are using the fuzzy, the user fuzzy, it was a standard admin over there with 1, 2, 3. Once you logged into the admin account with several image admins on the tab, you will see all the details necessary for the root with the print screen from the GitHub. And the GitHub is the flag itself for the challenge with the number 1. And after that, you will have the login details for M. Petra with Gmail account with his credential. This was part of the challenge number 1. Once you hit the challenge number 1, you'll have the hint and the location will be pointed out into a physical one. On the challenge number 2, it was very simple. It was an application hosted locally, and it was designed for you to make it vulnerable to obtain some data. And the access page gave me the following message. So, you want to be an evil MFO? I'll ban you soon. So this was the first hint to start with the challenge number 2. And this one is reflecting to some details, and not too many details true. I tried various searches on Google, but without any success. But behind of everything that we designed from our side as an organizer, as a HackTheZone organizer, we had to manage and to see exactly how this should be running onto the location. And we had a version. We managed to find an old version of Python and the code, and this one was very simple to be approached. It was referring to the evil bit, which is doing a revert bit into the header on every IPv4 package, and that means you will use this vulnerability to obtain the flag. Nevertheless, there is a paper that was written by M. Petra, by the user, back into the challenge number 1, where it was an RFC, and it was the RFC 3514. That RFC was pointed directly to evil bit vulnerability. So that change should be in front of your eyes, and after that you have to go to the PCAP, and that PCAP was over there in front of you if you are using Petra GitHub source. You have over there and follow the steps with the problems, and I managed to search exactly the listed below for that Wireshark package. So Wireshark showed an RST flag, which didn't help after numerous of changes, and nevertheless in the Python code and the search evil bit, I decided to give up, and I found the evil source of the GitHub. Now we have challenge number 2, and it was completed and captured successfully. We can see exactly into the Wireshark that we have the evil bit handshake. You should have our secret password now. Now is the moment where we will offer you a secret password to let you go further into challenge number 3. So challenge number 3 is pretty simple as well. And once you have all the details from the previous challenge, you can see exactly that the page is vulnerable. And this was the point where you should start work with. Starting with challenge number 3. Challenge number 3, it was a task filled with an admin login over there, and it was meant to generate some reports. So those reports were meant to be done by the CEO from M. Petra, and M. Petra wants to see exactly the financial status of his bill program. And now we have to understand and to do to apply the vulnerability from that particular side. It was an XSS, and it was required to use a particular technique. For this moment, it was necessary to do the next payload, and that particular payload will allow you to exploit the machine that was listed over there, And now you can go further to see exactly the ATC password into the system of the Linux machine. And now you are using those references. So you have SSRFE via HTML. So you have to generate some reports, some flags from the machine. Now is the moment where you can use the inspiration, those two articles. Probably there are more articles. Our team managed to pull the challenges based from this documentation. And once you go further and navigate to the flag, you can use the local target which was set in place on the Linux machine and use the iframe to see it exactly like that, and you have the customer message, and it was the flag itself. Challenge number 4, we had an amazing experience over here. So on your local target that you had to discover all the missing pieces that were added over there in order to go further. So you have to scan the target, and you'll see the open port 9020, and it will take a while to discover it. And after you'll discover it, you'll see exactly the message as an alert. Okay, thank you for the login if you are doing the attempt. So those attempts are just pointed out in that shape. So you have to use and discover that target with WebSocket. So you need to have set in place to read the information. To read the information from HTZ internal network and take over the flag, and that will help you, the WebSocket, to make it true and to make it available. So that RFC, it was listed as well over here. And this RFC, it will help you to read and to discover the findings that we set into this challenge. Based on the target listed for you guys, we had this command to be used. So once we used this command, it was pretty straightforward to see exactly that we used and the connection upgrade for that upgraded WebSocket. And we use NC for that particular IP address in the port, and we got the response. So we have the flag right now. But now you have the flag, and this is the particular moment where everyone was tricked because no one knows exactly what to do further. To be more precise, this was the direction. So you had over here, you had two pictures. So those two pictures, those two links. So the text listed below, it's obviously of two links that links to the same image. Now, in this particular situation, what you have to do is to read the image, of course. But if you are using stenography, it's not working. If you are using, I don't know, other techniques to discover the hidden message into the text, like, I don't know, maybe some positioning letters, maybe, I don't know, it's just a number or a text inside from that picture, it will not go with any success further. But the hint were pretty obviously for this one, and the hint was, I cannot spell it to be honest, but it's written in the back way. So the hint was on graphy.cc. You had to see exactly the website because it was mirrored, presented over there as a hint. And with the help of the website, we managed to create this challenge. This one exactly says the following thing. No graphy project is hiding messages inside of a message. So it blends some letters into the image itself. This is the non-technical explication for this one. It will blend some messages with some bits inside of the text, and after that it will provide you the message as it is in the previous slide, like that. So that text stands for a hidden message. It's a very interesting project, and I truly recommend to take a look over it. And after you will discover the message with the help of the source of the GitHub, or even on the website you can upload the image, it will decrypt the message and it will look like this. So as you may see, this is the flag. It's actually an website, an IP address and a port, which will lead you to another challenge, the last challenge of our competition. So this is the challenge 5, the last one. Just one person managed to decrypt this message, and we are glad to see that outside the box thinking and his talent was working. And now it will lead us to the last challenge. To the last challenge, you need to have this to struggle. So I cannot spell it to correctly, but it's a fetcher. This fetcher will help you to extract some files from the disk. How it was possible? This was possible if you were, let's say, the owner of a domain name, or buying a new one right now in this particular moment, or a free one, but you need to have access to the DNS management, where you should have some A records over there. In this particular case, we have this one just for the demonstration purpose. We have the the-zone.com. It's a domain owned by HackTheZone team, and we create rami.htz as a subdomain. Okay, so what you have to do is to add two type of A records, actually one type of A records, with an IP address, public IP address, and a local IP address, the local host IP address. And once you add those IP addresses over there, your host will respond to that machine, and it will give you some answers in a time frame. So you have small period of time where you can refresh the connection and then to obtain the file. You can use any IP, public IP, to address this one into to obtain the challenge. And once you fetch the data from the flag, for instance, rami.h-the-zone.com/flag.txt, that means you can go with the connectivity and you can obtain the challenge. Of course, this is the highlight overview of everything that we've done for this year. But nevertheless, we are looking forward to see exactly what our team will develop for the next year. Congratulations for everyone who participated into our challenges, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
In the following moments, Alex will give us a summary of all the HTZ 2021 challenges and, more important, the way these challenges were supposed to be approached in the given situation. So, Alex, enlighten us, please.
Bobby, this year was very challenging. Why? Because we had to confront the pandemic situation. We are struggling with this one, and nevertheless, we took a pause last year because no one knows how exactly it should be, let's say, running again. And we had to wait to see exactly. We took some feedback from other conferences, from other sets, and we managed to pull it out. We had a hybrid event this year, and it was a wonderful experience, but nevertheless with the difficulties as well as a package. We had like 5 locations, physical locations designed for this year, but we ended up with 2 locations. So we compressed a bit the competition with multiple challenges into a single location. But our competitors were very pleased to see that they are able to find everything under their nose over here into that particular location. And yes, it was challenging. Why? Because they were able to see each other. It was a long pause on that one. So seeing another friend or another colleague or maybe your competitor in the competition, it was very nice to see and engage that situation properly.
All right. Now, what can you tell us about the, let's say, correct approach of all these challenges?
All those challenges are designed to be in physical locations in order to see exactly how an attacker moves his equipment. Maybe, I don't know, he has to use a car or a public transportation. So you need to see exactly how a real attacker sits in their shoes. So that is very important for us to gather all that knowledge, all that amount of time he spends and plans to perform that particular attack. So it's very important to step into their clothes, into their shoes, to see exactly how they are acting.
All right, and this brings me to my next question. What would be let's say, the usual suspect profile when it comes to a, I don't know, black hat attacker?
Okay.
What's the profile? What am I supposed to look for? Let's say I'm somewhere downtown having a beer, right? And some dude comes along. What am I supposed to look for?
So most of the time it's not like in movies, guys. So we don't wear hoodies under, I don't know, a simple location like in a coffee shop. I'm not with my hoodie over my head. He's a regular guy. You'll barely notice. He has a laptop. Nowadays, you can use even your phone to do some action.
So basically, we cannot actually, I don't know, scope for these kind of guys,
True.
like eventual hackers or so, because it could be anyone.
Yeah.
Working off their phone, laptops, tablets, whatever.
Yes, definitely.
So there's not a special setup. I'm asking this as a noob, as a complete, I don't know, let's put it fair, complete idiot when it comes to this kind of subject.
Sure, yes, that is very, very true that you mentioned. They are using very lightweight equipment. Very rarely they are used heavily equipment. Maybe, I don't know, they have something like an external battery that weighs a bit into his backpack. But now with the laptops can have like 12 hours battery without any single charge.
Yeah, so basically it's more than enough to, I don't know, attack pretty much any big,
exactly.
I don't know, enterprise, business, or I don't know, entity.
Exactly. And nevertheless, when they are in fully action, they have a plan. So that plan is very, very well pulled together. So they are not waiting too much to get into that vibe, into that action. They are hit and run.
All right, cool. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Well, I guess it's already pretty obvious that the previous moment was a prelude to probably the most anticipated moment of the day, namely finding out the winner of the Hack the Zone competition. Alex, now, because you were there at the competition, you have to tell us what the vibe was and also give us some insights on how the competitors actually approached the challenges.
The challenges from our perspective were designed to meet a special criteria that we are chasing. A real scenario from a real attacker. So they had multiple challenges to solve and to put the pieces back together to compromise an enterprise user and an enterprise network. It was very challenging. At the other side with the competitors, it was very nice and very, let's say, energized vibe into the location. Even we had 2 locations, we spotted the energy, the smiles, the glory, the joy, even the pain. Because someone can can express himself like, yes, I did it, but the other one says like, okay, what we can do right now, So the pressure is constant over there, and the joy as well. And once you see all those talents collected and put it back together with all their knowledge, and to use that power of the knowledge to solve that challenge, it's impressive, because you are under the time over there. Like, we had like 6 hours per day per each challenge, because we simulate a real location and an ending and the closing day of that particular space.
I see. Well, I need to ask you one more thing. Usually,
Sure.
you know the saying that pretty much any kind of effort is 90% transpiration and 10% inspiration. Was this the case?
Yes, it was the case, because our challenges were set in place once they were conquered. So no one was expecting, even from our competitors, from attenders at the contest, were able to see the challenges once they are solved. So they were not aware that like we have 5, we have 10 challenges. So it was under pressure always, even from our technical team, because we have to pull it back together in that particular moment. So it was very, very stressful for us as an organizer. Why? Because every piece that we used into that scenario has to be plug and play without further configurations.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. Enough with the tension now. So, Alex, please tell us who won.
It was a single guy, and he was alone in this competition. Yes, it was very surprising to see that a single guy can win until the 4th challenge that we had this year. Wow. In total of 5, no one reached the challenge 5 over there to solve it, but he was over there alone without any kind of help, with 2 laptops, huge laptops, and he was searching like crazy, and he managed to pull it out and win the contest. He was registered with the nickname Abercianu, and I say congrats to him. You have conquered our challenge, 4th challenge, but next year you have a bigger challenge to win all of them. It will be hard as usual, but it will be engaging. So congrats to Alexandru, and see you next year on our event.
Yeah, big ups, Alexandru. We have to mention the fact that he won a total of 1,600 euros cash. Probably a lot of you guys think the same as we do here in the studio, that working with a team behind you, it's way easier to go over all those challenges. So of course, for Alex, working by himself, that was, wow, quite an accomplishment. Unfortunately, we don't have Alex in the studio with us due to the COVID restrictions, of course. But Alex, I guess you already took care of it, and
yes.
The money will end up in Alex's pocket. Now, there's tens of viewers asking the same question. Is Hack the Zone 2022 going to happen? And if so, please expand on that.
Yes. Next year we will see probably much earlier than that you are used to. So probably we will move from October to late August and beginning of September. That depends exactly how the COVID pandemic situation is evolving. But nevertheless, for the next year we have multiple plans, bigger plans, multiple challenges, multiple scenarios, multiple locations, and a surprise competition that we are working to pull it out and to construct it around the security topics as well, but into the physical area, physical security. So that will be more approachable for more enthusiastic security hardware that we are waiting and expecting to see it at our event. We will see exactly how it will work with the golden ticket. It will be design a golden ticket if we will manage to create that physical competition as a separate scenario. But that will be based on everything that we have as a support from our sponsors and partners. That will be amazing to achieve it next year, and this is our goal for our third edition.
All right, everybody, so please, fingers crossed for next year, so the COVID era will finally end. Or if not, at least we won't have the COVID restriction as hard on us as we're having it today, so we can meet in person and have a hybrid event. Ladies and gentlemen, wizards and hackers, cybersecurity masters and Padawans, every beautiful story has an end, and we have reached it. It's been an amazing 2-day trip in the cybersecurity realm, during which we hope you found out a lot of new info, solutions, and hacks. I'd like to thank, on behalf of the entire team, those who made this event possible. InfoSec Hub, Dev51, Pure Storage, CVU Intelligence, PentestTools.com, NOA, Armed Synapse, VLAN Sync, Mindspace, NextGen CyberQuest, WeRemote, Remotium, AdMarks, and Cristian Iosub. Also, many thanks to you all for joining Hack the Zone 2021, to all of our guests, and big ups to the organizing team. I am Bobby, thank you for your time and patience, stay healthy, and see you next year.